Hi guys, welcome back. I'm sure you guys heard that about this guy that lit a woman on fire in New York City. Let's hear what people have to say about it.
To the person who threw a match on a woman on the train as she slept, made those cameras zoom in so hard on your ugly soul. So evil. Why are you so evil? It's like new fear unlocked. Like, it's bad enough we have to ride the trains to go home, most of us. But like, you can't even get a little shut eye if you have a long commute without having anxiety that somebody's gonna do something to you. Oh, the news just gives me I need to put the phone down. I really do.
This is really disappointing. If you live in New York City and you don't mind, let us know down below what your thoughts are about this specifically, because you have to live there.
Entered illegally after being deported in 2018. Sebastian Zapata, a 33-year-old illegal immigrant from Guatemala, allegedly unalived a lady on a train in New York. According to the police, surveillance video shows a man calmly walking up to the woman. And while this lady is asleep, Zapata pulls out a lighter and lights her clothing on fire. According to the surveillance video, her clothing became engulfed in flames in a matter of seconds. Then Zapata allegedly got off of the train and sat on a bench and watched the lady burn until she was unalived. But of course, it doesn't fit the narrative. So a lot of the media are spinning it around saying that a lot of people stood around and did nothing to help the lady. Yeah, I don't think that the reason why people just stood by and watched is because of what happened to Daniel Penny. Like, follow, and share. Leave a comment. Let me know what you think. I guess we need to ban cigarette lighters now.
Let's ban cigarette lighters. Good point. I don't know about you guys, but the reality is if somebody like Daniel Penny would have been present, there's a chance that woman might still be alive.
Was sleeping, minding her business, taking a nap, and
Right?
unprovoked, a man walked up to her and set her ablaze, causing her to be burnt alive on the train. Let me tell you about my city, New York. Like, literally, New York is nothing to be played with. You see how people romanticize it for some reason? This is not the type of city that needs to be romanticized. This is not Gossip Girl. This is not Home Alone 2. Like, what y'all see on TV, this is not it. This lady was minding her business. Minding her business. And the man walked up to her and literally threw the lighter at her. I just know this lady had to be tired because real New Yorkers know not to even sleep on a train for real. Real New Yorkers know not to sleep on a train, so this lady really must have been tired. And now, like, she's not living. All because this man literally just set her ablaze like this. And this
So there's one thing that doesn't make sense. If you go up to a person and you light their clothing on fire, it might start and it'll eventually wake them up and they'll start doing this. Did he douse her with some sort of, gasoline or something? If you guys know a little bit more, let us know down below. I would have to assume he sprayed her with some sort of propellant.
And the sickest part about the whole thing is the man sat there and watched. And police walked by. And then people wonder, oh, it's only $290. It's only $290. Why people don't want to pay? What the hell are you paying $290 for? The safety is not there. This is what I'm saying. New York, the priorities, the mayor, and everybody else, their priorities is effed up. I'm sorry.
Yeah, and didn't Governor Hochul literally say the same day or the day before that the train was the safest it's ever been? Good job, Governor Hochul. Why don't you take your annual raise, and same with you, Eric Adams, that annual raise that always finds its way into your pockets, and why don't you give it to the lady's family?
Sorry to say, because hounding people for 290 and arresting people for 290, meanwhile this is going on, how you could really see the suspect right there, or you see a woman on fire and still do nothing, is mind-boggling to me. Nobody could ever fix their lips to me and say, oh my gosh, New York is such a beautiful place, because I'm really going to look at you like the glitz and glam. Please get that out of your head right now. Get it out of your head and really let's get serious. I love New York, but this is the type of city where sometimes you don't even know if you're gonna make it back. Gosh, rest in peace to that lady. sending prayers to her family, because that
I agree. Send prayers to the family. You know, if everyone in the country would quit visiting places like LA and New York City, they would be forced to change for the better.
this world is just getting uglier and uglier, and just demonic people are just appearing out of ladies, listen, stay safe, and guys, you too, stay safe. But y'all, if we see something, do something. Don't freaking take that phone and start recording, yada yada yada. No. You see someone on fire, bro, help that person. That could have been your mother, your grandmother, could have been my mother, whoever.
That's the problem. We live in a world where nobody cares until it directly affects them, and then they wonder why nobody cares.
Oh, femicide isn't real. We don't normalize in society. Yet some guy just lit a woman on fire in the train, and people just watched, recorded, and cops were walking by as she's standing and burning alive.
That is sad. I don't know if it was exactly like that. Were people just watching? Because I'd imagine there had to be a fire extinguisher somewhere.
Is the man who burned the woman alive on the subway and watched her burn going to get charged with terrorism?
Well, let's hope he doesn't go to any type of federal prison and get the death penalty, because we know President Biden will get him out of his death penalty.
Oh, I wish I could say that I was totally surprised by this newest update. So it turns out that this dude was deported back in 2018 to Guatemala. They don't know how he got back in here, but all they do know is that he's been living in Brooklyn. Now, I purposely did not want to make a video about this sooner until more information came out. Information like this. Information to prove my points. This keeps on happening. This is disgusting. Are y'all waking up in there yet? And I don't mean woke. I mean waking up from the wokeness. This is a problem. And if y'all still don't see this being a problem, y'all are a part of the problem. And maybe y'all need to be deported along with this gentleman.
So I agree with her, and I feel just as angry as her, but if you want the world to take you serious, take the nose ring out. Enough with the ugly nose ring. Women, you are never going to look as pretty as you can until you remove that ugly ass nose ring.
AOC said that the trains and buses would be safer if people like Daniel Penny was in prison. But we're just getting word of an illegal immigrant throwing a lit match at a woman while she was sleeping surrounded by alcohol on the train in Coney Island in New York. The woman burned alive. She's dead. She's not here no more. Daniel Penny wasn't on that train. If he was, though, do you know what would have happened? And this is why the Democrats lost that election overwhelmingly, because the American people are sick and tired and they want this mass deportation to happen now.
Yeah, the only problem with that, places like LA and New York City, they're going to be blue forever. They don't listen. They don't learn. Daniel Penny is a New Yorker. By the way they were acting, you would think he's from Utah or something. Daniel Penny is a New Yorker. He's 24 years old. He's a Marine veteran from Long Island who was involved in the New York City subway chokehold death of street performer Jordan Neely. Even though most of the people there thought that he was a hero, you know how a lot of people are. They want the good guy in prison and they want the bad guy let out. It really says a lot about us as a people.
I don't know if anybody else has seen this, because I really don't see a lot of y'all talking about this, but did y'all see the video this morning of the lady who was set on fire in the New York subway? When I first seen the video, I'm not gonna lie, my first initial reaction was like, why the fuck ain't nobody getting a fire extinguisher? This lady is on fire, or this individual, because I didn't find out it was a lady until after. So I was like, this individual is set on fire. Why is nobody getting a fire extinguisher? Child, we may never know why it took them so long to get a fire extinguisher, but eventually they got one. They took they put the fire out. Unfortunately, she died on the scene. But check this. This lady is asleep on the damn train, and this crazy, deranged looking man took a lighter to her clothes and set her ass on fire. Set her on fire and then sat there and watched.
Now they're saying that it's rumored in a few of these videos that you can see the man walking by. But the picture they got of the individual that set this lady on fire, in the video, this man literally is sitting there watching her, stands up with some type of plastic trash bag and is waving the plastic trash bag like as if it's going to put the fire out.
You know, you don't have to believe in God, you don't have to believe in good, but we all know that evil very much does exist. God, that's just so awful.
So exactly 2 weeks ago, I made a TikTok about how women are undervalued in the city of New York and how authorities do not take the same level of diligence finding out who hurt them, why they were hurt, or what happened. And here we have a woman set fire on a New York City train by a man she doesn't even know. It's been 2 days and she hasn't been identified. Now, don't get me wrong, the public did their due diligence and the man has been arrested, but they still don't know who she is. This is someone's mother, their sister, their loved one. I don't care if she was homeless. I need you guys to put in the same level of due diligence that you did for Matthew, who you chased out of state, and find out where this woman came from, what train station she boarded this train in, and who she belongs to. No one needs to see Kathy Hochul riding a train. I need to see you walking in with the FBI or Intel, anyone, and locate this woman's family.
I need to see Hochul give up her raise to this family. Kathy Hochul, you shouldn't be making 3 or 4 or 500,000 a year or whatever the heck you make. And Eric Adams, you should be fired. Get out of here. I'm tired of these leaders of your state, and they suck. My God, awful.
Here I am in Brooklyn at the exact train station where that man burned the woman to death on the F train at Stillwell. I came to see my friend for the holiday, and I want you to see the train and the neighborhood, how nice and calm this neighborhood is. I don't know how this could have happened here. Okay, this is McDonald Avenue, where Stillwell Avenue and Avenue X connect. I don't think you could read the sign, but that's the entrance of the station right there. There's another entrance down the block, and right there's a platform where they burned the woman to death.
So I just found out Governor Kathy Hochul, $250,000 annual salary. Kathy, I think you should donate 150 of that to the victim's family. I really do. I think like you let her down completely, without a doubt. With that being said, I've got so much more to share with you. I want to vent like crazy. Go get your shoes. Let's go for a walk.
Jingle bells ringing in my ear. Jingle bell, a sound that's oh so dear. Frosty the snowman is all around town. Watch out for reindeers are falling down. We stay up waiting for Santa tonight. He climbs down the chimney at the speed of light.
Good morning, Venters. Happy Christmas Eve. Merry Christmas Eve. I hope you guys are all getting to open at least one gift. That was one of those traditions that we held, and it's crazy because about half the Americans that I know follow that tradition. Whether you live in America, Canada, or any other parts of the world, if you and your family have that same tradition, if everybody gets to open one gift for Christmas Eve, let me know down below. If you guys are staunch traditionalists, which means you don't allow that one Christmas gift to be opened, you wait till Christmas Day, that's awesome as well. Let me know down below. And if you're a real stickler and you won't open your gifts until family members get there, even if it's a week later, let me know, because I know with some families, they do weird stuff like that too. It's okay to be weird when it comes to Christmas. Guys, I want to tell you about a story that I don't know if it's sad for some. Well, it is sad for some, but it also enrages some people. And then with other people, they just kind of throw their hands up in the air and say, hey, you know, that sounds about right. I'm sure you guys heard the other day, there was a guy that got aboard I believe it was the subway or the tram system there in New York, and he ended up lighting a woman, a female passenger, on fire. This was that guy. Excuse me. This was that guy. And guys, if you look at his face, that is the face of evil, in my opinion. Does that mean he was born evil and he's always been evil? Does that mean that he's got mental illness and he just kind of went on a crazy binge? Who knows? All I know is what he did is so despicable that I think every single one of us would absolutely love to just throw him into a vat of bleach, right? Just throw him into a vat of boiling oil. That's kind of what this guy deserves. Because we're all sane people that would never do such a thing, it's really hard for us to even imagine somebody that would go and do this to another human being. And apparently the woman that he did this to was guilty of sleeping on the train. What makes him really demented from the reports that I've seen, because I know some of you guys have actually seen the video and stuff. I'm one of those, I don't need to see the video. But one of the things that I heard was that he was actually seen from outside of the train or whatever, watching as this woman apparently stood up, probably in shock, and just kind of burnt till she was gone, so to speak. Apparently, police and people there tried to use fire extinguishers, but by the time they got the flames out, I guess it was too late. I don't know about you guys, but there does come a point where if you were getting charred like that by fire and flames, that you probably don't even really want to survive something like that. Because from what I understand, when people get like skin grafts and stuff, burn victims, it can be very painful, very hellacious, so to speak. So I think we can all agree that she probably went to bed and hopefully she never felt any pain from this, but I'm sure her family is really, really upset about this right now, and rightfully so. So if you're gonna say a prayer, maybe say a prayer for her family. She deserves at least that. But I was watching a fellow YouTuber, his name is Tyrone Magnus. He has quite a good YouTube channel and quite a good following. Here's a picture of him. He has about 2 million subscribers on YouTube, and I just really love watching his reactions. He's one of these guys that he does reactions to various videos. This particular video was the one where they were describing this guy that lit the woman on fire, and he got this video that he was reacting from Fox News. It has really good viewers that do really good comments, much like my viewers here, but you guys make comments after the fact. This is one that I'm doing for the video itself. And by the way, that's one of those things that I'm thankful for right from the get-go between Sean and Lily and Sheila Ann and Sherry Ann, or Sheila and Sherry Ann, excuse me. I've always had wonderful comments from you guys. Keep them coming. Becky, Carla, the whole 9 yards. Don't ever stop. Terry the Terrify, I love your comments as well. But let's read some of these, because again, this is one of those things that you just don't hear about this happening all the time. As a matter of fact, I've heard more about Tibetan monks that have lit themselves on fire in protest than I had actually heard about people lighting other people on fire, believe it or not. So the first person is SGTB 3691. Says Daniel Penny, and for those of you that don't know, Daniel Penny was the guy that was just, I believe, acquitted and found not guilty, where he was actually choking a man who lost his life on these same type of subways. And it was because he was threatening people, and Daniel Penny was the one that put him in a chokehold. If you want to let me know your opinion of Daniel Penny, you can let me know down below, but I think he was trying to do the right thing, and I think unfortunately the guy that he was choking ended up losing their life. So I don't want you to feel like anyone's loss of life is something that I take lightly. Let's just hope that it really was an accident, and I think it was. So it says here, Daniel Penny would have been put on trial again if he stopped this monster. That's how disgusting New York City has become. You know, I don't know about you guys, the two most famous states. Hi, how are you? Good, thank you. The two most famous states in our country by far are New York and California. And the two most famous cities are New York City and Los Angeles. And I'm not a big fan of either of the states, and I'm definitely not a fan of either of those cities. I feel like these cities like to stand up at the pulpit and scream about how wonderful they are, and to everybody else it just kind of comes across as a joke. I don't know why the people of New York City stand for this. I don't know why the people of Los Angeles stand for some of the stuff that they do, but I just really feel like both of those cities just represent what's wrong with our country, not what's right. When 9/11 happened, people started talking about how we were wrong in thinking people from New York City didn't care. We were actually led to believe that, hey, the people of New York City have huge hearts. And maybe they do have huge hearts when it comes to the Yankees and the Knickerbockers and the Giants and Jets, right? And the Islanders and all the hockey teams, right? But man, when it comes to doing right by the people and getting rid of the crime, I feel like all you guys are is excuse after excuse after excuse. And I think the people are starting to agree with me. I think your city is just garbage. I have no intention of ever visiting that city. And Governor Hochul, or whatever your name is, I don't see how you could possibly do any worse. The sad thing about this story is that apparently the day of, just a couple hours before this happened, apparently she went on TV and was kind of bragging about how she has made the subway system and public transit safer. And then this happens, as if somebody just smacked her across the face with this, bit of truth here. Got a guy riding his little mini motorcycle. That's kind of cool. Mini dirt bike. How do you guys feel about that, though? Do you guys remember growing up and we think of these cities like New York and the 5 boroughs, and we think of places like LA and we just think, oh, I love LA. I don't know what anybody loves about that place. I really don't. Absolutely not. It's funny. I'm trying to walk slower so that I can speak at a certain cadence. But once you start walking, once you become a venter and you're walking every day, it's almost impossible to walk slowly. Have you noticed? That's why I tell you guys, if you're walking with us, don't even try to walk fast. Just walk at a comfortable pace, because what you'll notice is after a week or two, pretty soon you'll be walking faster than ever. That looks fun, doesn't it? That looks fun. Now see, here's the difference between me and Oscar the Grouch or Archie Bunker. Archie Bunker would say, get out of the park with that thing, you're ruining the grass. Man, my thinking is that kid's not hurting anybody. Let him enjoy his little dirt bike on the grass. I would rather have him on the grass where he doesn't have to worry about a car hitting him than out here on the street where cars don't even watch where they're going. Okay, I think this guy's name is Mazik Zobi, 6074. He says, wait for Biden to pardon him. Yeah, by the way, I don't know if you guys heard about this, but President Biden ended up pardoning 37 federal convicts or prisoners that were literally set to lose their lives via the death penalty. And he changed all of their sentences to life sentences without the possibility of parole. Now, if he's willing to change everybody that has a life sentence to a life sentence without the possibility of parole, I would be okay with that change. But when people do heinous things and they've been given the death penalty, and what you do in your term is you let all these people into our country, like this guy that lit this woman on fire, and then you take all those judges who gave those sentences, and keep in mind, those judges didn't give those sentences lightly. They felt that whatever those people did, it was warranted. And I'm sure in some cases there were juries that gave those sentences. And for Biden to just come in with his magic wand, wave it around, and let those people off, God, to me, it just really shows you that if you voted for this guy, that's the guy you voted for. Somebody that literally cares more about the criminals and the bad guys than his own citizens in this country. I'm sorry, I just find that really awful. I really, really do. By the way, the last time I was here 2 days ago or whatever is when that like UFO bleeped by. I don't think any of you guys took the time to watch that. If you slow down the video and watch, you'll see what looks like a little dot go across the screen, and it goes so fast. It was ridiculous. I know you guys are thinking, Jesse, we're not here for the UFOs. We're here for you. All right. I got you. So obviously it's not Christmas Eve for me yet. It's the 23rd. And there's a piece of me that wants to go and get a couple more stocking stuffers. I'm actually at that point in my life where I really get a lot of joy out of seeing people open their gifts that I got for them, right? Because there's not really much that people can buy me that's really that cool in my eyes, right? I think a lot of us are like that, or at least you should be, right? But man, when you see somebody and they're smiling because of something you bought them, it's really cool. Well, hello, pretty kitty, how are you? Say hi to the camera. Hi, show us your eyes. Hi, how are you? What a beautiful gray cat. Real thick looking cat. Have you guys ever seen a Maine Coon? They're like house cats, but they're literally gigantic. I think if I ever get a cat again, I'm gonna invest in a Maine Coon. And then I'm gonna take videos of it and annoy you guys with it. Jason Moir says, and this surprises absolutely no one. See, Jason, that's the problem I have with New York City and LA. How can you consider a place great when things like this happen all the dang time and there's nothing great about it? I don't know about you, but I see all the bad things as equal. Oh, wait, Jesse, you're equating somebody killing somebody to somebody lighting somebody on fire? Those are two different things. No, they're not. It's the same thing. You're taking a life, you're playing God, you're being cruel. I've seen people in New York City where they push people into the upcoming, where the train is coming or whatever you want to call it, and they push them down onto the tracks. What kind of evil human being do you have to be to do that? And if you take a look at the bad people that do that, they almost always have a rap sheet a mile long. That's why it's like if we as people were absolutely serious about getting rid of crime, especially heinous crime, we would quit giving people third and fourth and 15th chances. Do you guys realize that we could get rid of about 85 to 90% of the crime overnight if we just created like a 2 or 3 strikes and you're out rule? Everybody says, oh my God, people are gonna go to prison for stealing a slice of pizza. My God, those people must really want to go to prison then. Because they must really want to go to prison then. What did you do to get here, Bill? I stole a piece of pizza. That's how bad I wanted to be in here. Well, welcome to prison, Bill. That's sick. You don't even have to try to find people before they kill somebody. Just take the people off the street that are already guilty of it and get those monsters off of our streets, and all of a sudden the world becomes an incredibly nice place to live in. I don't know why we as a people can't say, yep, that's the obvious plan. Let's do that. Let's end recidivism. Let's make it where the only people that hurt somebody are the virgins. What do you mean? Virgins are nice. No, everybody that becomes a murderer has their first kill. Once they get their first kill, get them out of society forever so we never have to deal with those people anymore. Tresta Richardson. I like that name, Tresta. 406 says she wasn't homeless. Her name was Amelia Carter. She was 29 years old and she was minding her own business. So I want you guys to think about something. I'm 48, which means I was 29, damn near 20 years ago. Sean, everybody here knows you're 50. You were 29, 21 years ago. You know as well as I do, when you are 50, and you look at people that are 29, you know they're practically kids. Yes, I know a 29-year-old's gonna argue and say, I know so much more about life than a 17 or 18-year-old. But when you're 50 years old, you look at people in their 20s for what they are. They're basically kids. My daughter is 29 years old. So when this stuff happens to somebody that was basically a baby when my daughter was a baby, that makes me want to throw this guy into a vat of boiling oil. What's horrible is there's going to be people that defend this guy and even try to get him off. And they're going to use everything in the books from, he was a disillusioned person that felt like America was against him, to he had mental illness. I'm tired of the excuses. This guy shouldn't have even been in our country. So again, it's just kind of horrible. I don't know why this keeps happening. If I were a person in New York, I would seriously consider selling my apartment off, selling my property, and I would seriously consider moving to a different state. I don't know what state, because it seems like every state you have bad people in there. But my goodness, the things that happen on the subway system in New York just seem beyond crazy, don't they? How many of you, like me, have kids that are actually in their 20s? And if you do you really look at them as full-blown adults, or do you look at them for what they are? Those are your kids. Well, Amelia Carter was somebody's child. And there's probably a decent chance that Amelia Carter was somebody's mom. So whenever you victimize one person like that, you're really victimizing a family. They have these scooters that somebody just went by on, and these scooters sometimes have these really big tires, and they look like a lot of fun. I don't know if you can see her down there, probably not, but they look like so much fun. And then you go to the store and you get these scooters with these tiny little plastic whatever tires, and not the same. Not the same. Little wheels, not the same. But this actually breaks my heart, Tresta Richardson, because this shouldn't have happened. And that's the thing that's irritating. Forever and a day, the people that voted for Biden, that are a part of this person's family, because everybody's family has a couple Republicans and a couple Democrats in it, usually, right? But man, it's just like to know that you voted for somebody that was just kind of okay with letting these people invade all of our cities. Because what else can you call it? They came here, they didn't have any other plan but just to show up. We give them all this money, and they reward our country by doing this to our citizens. It's just wrong. There's no other way to slice and dice it. I know that Democrats are just as pissed about this as I am, but it's just like, my goodness. Sometimes you have to ask yourself, why the heck is that one of the policies of being a Democrat? If Republicans want to be pro-life and Democrats want to be pro-choice, okay, that's one thing, right? But it's like, I don't see why we have to, as Democrats, agree with every policy that the Democrats are for. That seems to me like something where we as a people should stand up and say, close the dang border. No more people. They're going to have to show that they deserve to be here and that they have good intentions. No more assuming that 9 out of 10 of them have good intentions, because we all know there's that 1 out of 10 that don't. So let's quit letting everybody in because there's good people out there. We don't want the bad people coming anymore, and we should have some sort of doorway that you have to walk through to get into this country. That's just the way it is. Can I get an amen? Hey, how are you? How did you guys know I was Walk Talk Vent?
Because we follow you. I see you.
That's crazy.
We follow you when we see you.
Oh my God, you guys made my day. Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
That's crazy, huh? They knew my channel. Walk Talk Vent, Walk Talk Vent. We subscribed. Do you think they would mention that to their friends? No, of course not. All right, Sam Haines, 606 says, thanks Biden and Mayorkas. Good looking out. I think we can agree that Donald Trump has done some stuff that's a little divisive, right? Some stuff that makes you shake your head. Not every Republican loves everything that comes out of Donald's mouth. Don't believe that propaganda, because it's not true. And I have to believe that not every Democrat loves everything that the Democratic Party or Joe Biden does. But I think we need to come together as people, and I think we need to give Donald Trump the blessing to get these people that don't belong here out. Because the reality is, as long as there's people from different countries that are trying to sneak in here, you have to constantly ask yourself, if this is such a wonderful place to live, which we all think it is, then shouldn't people have to earn it? I don't think you should just be able to walk across and, I'm here. No, you should have to earn it. This is a special place, and when every Tom, Dick, and Harry and Susan gets to be here, it no longer becomes special. Let's hold true what it is to be an American. There's people that come in every day, they take the citizenship test, and they go through the right process. Nobody is saying, let's stop that. What I'm saying is, let's get back to the point where that's the only way you can be here. Because I don't know if you guys have heard, these drones, I don't know if they're aliens, I don't know if they're our military, I don't know if they're Chinese or Russian military or Iranian military drones, but I know one thing, they could be potentially searching for people that don't belong here, that have nefarious things that they're trying to do. And that is reason enough that we should come together as a people, regardless of our party, and we should say, hey, we're not voting in any Republicans or any Democrats that are cool with this stuff happening anymore. Because this is a travesty. This woman losing her life 2 or 3 days before Christmas, it's way worse than Big Lots letting off everybody a couple of days before Christmas. Because you can recover from losing a job, and you could end up finding a job that in theory is the best, right? You can actually improve by getting fired or laid off. You can actually have some things go your way and get a better shake out of life. You don't get a second chance from this. We need to get these people out of here, and we need to agree that we're never ever gonna just let these people walk in again. I'm surprised there's not one Democrat that'll stand up and say, I can't believe I voted for this guy. Big Fish 1026 says, Tom Homan is coming. So I guess Tom Homan is the new border czar, right? Why does Tom Homan sound so much stronger and so much more confident? And he sounds like a guy that we can all get behind. Whereas Mayorkas, it was just lie after lie after lie, downplay after downplay after downplay. This is what happens when you let bad people in. Let's just make a plan that we're not going to do that anymore. No more bad people. We're going to have good people that subscribe to Walk Talk Then, just like those two girls. That was crazy. I was totally not expecting that. They're like, we like your show. The girls are probably the only 12-year-olds in the country that like Walk Talk Then. Hey, how's it going? Merry Christmas.